McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl, live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Shift topics, though, to one of our cohorts here at Woodward Sports, Neal Ruhl, who made a very interesting comment the other day. And, Stick, can you play that for us?
Georgia signed 26. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl.
Yes.
Sitting next to me is Stick, who is in for D-Mac. The voice just wouldn't hold out. He couldn't go here today. But again, Neal Ruhl and Stick will be sitting in for Big D Energy. We got Sam Flannel in the house as well. We got Spencer Raxter. We are locked and loaded, and we are ready to go on Cinco de Mayo.
That's
Skip.
right. The one and only Cinco de Mayo. And we got to hand it to Brian Mausoleum for pronouncing your name correctly and nailing it.
No,
love
absolutely.
You, love. And Jason Strayhorn.
Good guys.
Strahan, yeah.
That was from inside the locker room.
I love those guys.
No, I do too. Those are good people. We've had them on the show.
I was
here
actually
before.
producing that show last night. I was here till 9 o'clock last night, Neal. I know. See, Fish empathizes for me.
I know you, but hey, I've always said it, man. You get it in, there is no doubt. But as I said, it's Cinco de Mayo. I'm sure you'll get it in tonight as well, Stick, because that's what you do.
Not only tonight, this afternoon. I will be in Royal Oak starting about 5 o'clock, hopping around 3 different bars, hosting some parties, and doing massive amounts of tequila.
There it is. And look, this all leads me to the question, and those days are past me now. I was always a big St. Patrick's guy, big. Like 7 a.m., 6 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Big St. Patrick. I had my run like everybody else had their run. My question is, and I was thinking about this driving in when I heard the people talking about Cinco de Mayo, and you're a good resource of this because, as you said, you're in the party hosting world, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you are a St. Patrick's Day apologist.
Apologist? What does that mean?
No, I mean an elitist. St. Patrick's Day elitist.
Yeah, elitist. Yeah, no, it's the greatest holiday that there has ever been.
Which is fine. I'll give you that. But my question is, why doesn't Cinco de Mayo get anywhere near the run that St. Patrick's Day does? And look, I know what you're going to say, but I'm just saying it's in May, so the weather's better. Mm-hmm. Already the weather's better right now.
Yep.
You can have Corona, margaritas, Modelo's if you're this anti-Corona person. Everything is there for you. The food is good. Everything is there. Why isn't it at least in the same ballpark?
I don't know why it's not in the same ballpark, but I will tell you this, that St. Patrick's Day is amazing. And for every tequila shot, I'll give you a whiskey shot. For every Modelo, I'll give you a Guinness. Like, we can match the liquors all day. Food, probably a little bit more towards Cinco de Mayo. I will give them that. But I don't know why it's not bigger. I think just because of the massive Irish population that's here in the country, maybe? I don't know.
See, stop with that. And look, it ceased being about your heritage and Irish or Mexican or religion or anything about it's about people getting drunk. It's a lot like NFL football.
Well, you think about the Irish culture and what do you associate that with? Getting drunk. Like, that's just it. And I'm Irish, so if you're offended by that, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. That's what we're known for. We're known for being drinkers and fighters. Mexico, when you think Mexico, you don't really think, just a bunch of drunks. You do that when you think of Ireland. So initially, there's already like, it's okay.
But that's got nothing to do with it anymore, Stick. That's got nothing to do with it. It's about taking the day off work and getting it in during the day.
Yep.
Which I support. Either way, I support that. That's cool. I'm down with that. I just want to know, why is Cinco de Mayo so underrated in relation to St. Patrick's Day?
I really can't tell you, man.
Okay.
All I know is Cinco de Mayo maybe needs to step up their marketing. I have no idea. But if you go down to Southwest on the Sunday before Cinco de Mayo, they would beg to differ that it's a different holiday. They go hard as hell in Southwest.
Okay, and we have it up on our YouTube chat poll. And by the way, big what up, though, to everybody that is watching on Facebook and Twitter. We carry that through onto the first segment. After that, you got to tap in to the YouTube channel and catch back up with the show there. And for everyone that is watching on our YouTube channel right now, that little chat thread that's going, we value your opinion. Even if it's disagreeable to what we're talking about, I'm down with that as well. We'll read those as it goes on. And we have our little YouTube chat poll going on right now. What's the better holiday? St. Patty's Day or Cinco de Mayo? St. Patrick's Day right now at 64%, Cinco de Mayo at 38% as the numbers change right in live time. 62-38 right now in favor of St. Patty's Day. And look, I think that all the tools are there for Cinco de Mayo to be better. As I said, the weather, the beers. Look, the green beer is not good, people. It's not. Now
Real Irish
Guinness
people don't
is
drink
good.
that green beer though. Like that's a showpiece. But that's what I mean. It's better
But
marketing.
see that
it's better marketing.
And look, I can't hate on you. I can't hate on that because you're right. Even though it's trash, it's kind of like
it's
cream
just
of
food
wheat.
coloring and beer. It's
Yeah,
awful.
It's kind of like cream of wheat. You know, people buy it. I'm told people buy it, but they don't buy it because it tastes good. It's like the green beer. You're supposed to do it, so you do it. Well, we're a sucker for marketing in this country.
I'm gonna
aren't
have
we?
to take your word on the cream of wheat, man.
Well, hey, it's not me. It's these people out here that send the
You
stuff on social
people.
media. Yeah, you people out there. And that was just kind of my thought because I wanted to know where the people were with that. And Chrome on our YouTube chat thread says St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, clomp sauce, whiskey, conversation over. I can agree with that. But tequila is fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun on tonight. So.
Absolutely. OT Tripon, this show sucks, LOL. When is Braylon on? Bottom line, 2 for 4. So go about your business then.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, you can go rewatch an episode right now. And we don't hate that. It's still the same view count
man.
for us, so thank you.
I don't get my contract signed, brother. Like it doesn't matter to me, dude. Do what you want to do. Harley Brown, enough. Talk sports. We can't sit there and just walk right in and say, all right, let's do the Lions draft again, Harley. What's your take on the draft, Harley? It's something that popped in my head. We do that. We'll take 10 minutes and we'll talk about Cinco de Mayo.
Well, not every day's Cinco de Mayo either.
Right.
So, you got to address what the hell's right in front of us.
No,
And
we
it's
will.
a big day. I'm going to have some fun tonight. So if you're in Royal Oak, come find me. I'll be the tall guy with the sombrero and drunk off tequila. Yeah, see, Maddie's coming.
Maddie will be in those
Let's
streets.
go, Maddie.
I'll be there.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time.
Chuck Brewer says a tradition is set, though, Neil. And I know I'm fighting uphill on this.
You
and
are.
I'm not even fighting. I've got to be careful. Somebody's probably going to send out a tweet and say, Neil hates St. Patrick's Day. Why?
Yeah, especially Bostonians take this pretty serious.
Well, that is true. I guess I am treading in some dangerous
Bastard.
water there.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, though. I think all the ingredients are there for Cinco de Mayo to be better than
Well,
St.
it's
Patrick's
not,
Day.
Neil. So you're just going to have to accept that for the time being. And
Well.
if you really want to make the push, let's get some better marketing.
I'll circle the wagons
Yep.
and we'll come back strong.
There we go.
We'll come back strong with the Cinco de Mayo. And, hey, that's what it is. Rack, Cinco de Mayo needs Neil to cut a promo for them to get the word out. Well, if the check's right, then we'll talk. And now we're going full circle.
There we go.
I'm a proponent Cinco de Mayo for the right price. But no, we do have a big-time show lined up for you here today. We will talk Lions, everybody. Hold on.
A lot of Lions, too.
Yeah, we do have a lot of Lions on the show here today. Also, this Tigers thing, and that loss to Pittsburgh yesterday was bad. That was a bad loss. A bad loss. And I'm curious to get, because Stick's kind of new to this game, and he was out there. He made the whole opening day thing go. And look, I get it. Hopium is being slung all around downtown Detroit on opening day. You feel it. You get wrapped up in it. I understand that. But at what point, Stick, are we concerned? Am I allowed to be concerned? I have to ask permission for everything now, I've been told.
I think at this point you should be concerned.
Okay.
I mean, we expected them to have a better start out the gate than last year, and not only are they matching that start, they're kind of worse off than the start last year, and I don't think any of us expected that coming into this season. I think we all understand that this is a young team, that they're still within the growing process, and that this is going to get better over time. But for right here, right now, what they are not growing, and that's what scares me the most. I don't mind losing early as long as I see growth in the end, and that's what we saw last year too. Similar to what the Pistons did actually 2 years ago. That team, very young, they were just trying to learn, trying to build. By the end of the season, they picked up some momentum, and you thought, all right, now they add Cade Cunningham to this. Next year, we're going to take a step forward. But they didn't really do that this year. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with the Tigers is we had the expectation, but that doesn't mean the talent caught up to our expectations.
And the thing that's even more concerning about that is the pitching has been good. I think, what are they, 11th in the league in ERA, somewhere around there. They're in the upper third of the league in ERA, and it's been wasted. It's not going to stay like that. It's been wasted. Tons of injuries, I get it, on the pitching front. But as I said on opening day, you're going to get some injuries, man. It's baseball.
Yeah.
There's 162 games. People are going to get hurt.
Yeah, it's a war of attrition in baseball for sure. And the Tigers have fallen victim to it, but so does every team. So I never like to use that as an excuse. So really, it's just no excuses. Hit the damn ball.
For Christ's sake,
score
get a
some
hit.
runs. Like do something, or don't drop. They don't have errors, unforced errors where you're dropping pop-ups in the infield to lose games. Those are the little things that if you just clean up like those remedial mistakes, they'd have a better record. But we're still making those rookie, just little league type mistakes, and that costs you in the major leagues. Surprise, surprise.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. How if you give good teams more outs, they're going to take advantage of it.
All right. Let's go to our YouTube chat thread right now. GW the Kid says, Cinco de Mayo is my preference. My girl took the day off to cook Mexican food today. Tequila is chilling right now. GW the Kid's not playing around today.
No, and I appreciate those people. And you know what? I don't care what you celebrate the most. Just celebrate.
Just celebrate the most.
Life sucks, man. Like, let's be honest. Life sucks 90% of the time. And, like, people that don't celebrate stupid things like these, I feel so bad for. They're like, oh, you like St. Patrick's Day? So what? You're damn right. It's a day that everybody goes into the city and has fun. Why wouldn't I enjoy that?
I'm not saying it's wrong. Yeah, I like St. Patrick's Day. No, I know. I like St. Pat. I don't want it to get twisted. I don't think things get twisted from time to time. I want your response to this one, Joey 2 times. But you remember the tacos. You don't remember the Irish whiskey and the green Bush Light.
I remember the tacos because I got to deal with them the next day, too. A corned beef sandwich does me a lot better than those tacos I'm going to be smashing at 2 a.m.
Lance is gone, says tacos and limes are pretty great.
They are. Hell yeah. This isn't an either or for me. I want to get drunk with both of them. It's just I don't have any Mexican in my heritage, so I go hard as hell for St. Patrick's Day.
Neal likes to start the show with a hot take. It's not a hot take. It's an observation. Everything has changed, man.
Like we could just go to liquor sales to prove that that's not a hot take. Like liquor sales on St. Patrick's Day is through the roof. I know bar owners, right? Like liquor sales on Cinco de Mayo goes up, but it's not St. Patrick's Day. Like there's not tent parties downtown like there is, on Cinco de Mayo for St. Patrick. It's just like the numbers. You can't deny the numbers. America spends a lot of effing money on St. Patrick's Day on booze.
As Cinco de Mayo too, not as much, but they do. It's out there. Lance is gone. Irish car bombs can be scary, bad. I've seen it in Detroit a few years ago. Everyone's got an Irish car bomb story. Everyone falls victim once.
I love those. I love car bombs, especially when they're done right, just like an old fashioned. Right. They taste like chocolate milk. I could do 100 shots, which I'm going to try to tonight.
Let's see, Robert Colosia. Cinco de Mayo is an American holiday, which is probably part of the problem. We do wreck a lot of things, I will say that. Chuck says
that's one of Fish's biggest issues with Cinco de Mayo is that it has nothing to do with American culture. Like Fish walks around here, he did an interview. How many people knew what actually Cinco de Mayo was about yesterday, Fish, when you were walking around asking people? Because Fish was walking around with his camera saying, "What is Cinco de Mayo about?" How many people got that right here?
They didn't say the wrong answer, so I was pretty happy with you guys. I was pretty shocked.
But you hate that we Americanize this.
Yeah, because in Mexico they don't say, "Oh, I'm gonna drink some beer today." They don't just chug beers. Because remember the whole story is it's a war. They beat the French in a war, so it's like remember the people that died and like a celebration.
So we should just be pouring out a little liquor. Is that what you're saying for all the homies that passed away in the war?
Do whatever you want. Just like St. Patrick's Day. Like, the Irish probably drink beer, but they don't drink as much beer as we do.
That's because we're America.
Well...
Everything's bigger.
Everything's bigger in America.
It is.
We drink more. We consume more. We're Americans.
Michael Beasley says the Maple Leafs really choked away that game last night. Too many penalties. That's right. I loved it. I was there for it. They are back, baby.
Back.
Toronto is back. I was worried. And look, I admit... I have fan reactions when Toronto wins. Like, I'm just like any other fan where I'm like, oh, no, they're going to win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Every time they win a playoff game, they're going to win the Stanley Cup. Every time they lose one, Toronto's back, baby. 1967, you're never going to do it. You're never going to do it, Toronto. It's funny to me that Toronto Maple Leafs are basically the same thing as the Lions, and they get celebrated, and the Lions get laughed at.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's a fact. What's better, seeing the Maple Leafs lose or seeing the Yankees lose?
Oh, Yankees. Maple Leafs have lost forever.
I know, but for some reason, again, I guess that's hot take-ish. I don't know. But why are the Maple Leafs celebrated and the Lions are laughed
They
at?
win divisions.
They're part of the...
The Lions have won divisions.
Because they're part of
Not
the
since
original
93.
6. I mean, honestly, that's why. It's more to do with their heritage than what they actually are. Like the same thing with the Red Sox before 2006. The Red Sox sucked for 100 years, but they were still celebrated. Everybody was going to Fenway. Everybody was thinking they were great, but no, they sucked. And then Boston went on this crazy run. I hate it.
So if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook right now, you need to jump over to the YouTube stream, as we'll be moving over to there right after Stick tells you about Guardian Alarm.
Yes, sir. Guardian Alarm, the one place that you need to go to make sure that your house is safe. And not even your house. You can do it for your business, too. If you're a local business owner, Guardian Alarm will hook it up. You can monitor right from your phone pretty much everything. I mean, you can tell the temperature in your house, the amount of carbon monoxide. You can make sure you're checking the cameras, make sure everything's good. So if you want that peace of mind, all you got to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT. The number again is 1-800-STAY-OUT. And get people out of your house. Make sure nobody breaks in, because Guardian Alarm, they got your back.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning. Make sure you join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers. Get you all the best deals on everything. They'll beat competitors' prices by at least $5. Chili Peppers Tanning. They have the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. Find out which one of their 26 locations, and more on the way, by the way, work best for you. It's Chili Peppers Tanning. Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl here with Stick, as he's in for D-Mac having those voice issues, did not get better, so appreciate Stick coming in from the bullpen. You know we got Sam Flannel. You know we got Spencer Raxter. Those guys are here. And we're going, man. We're off and running. But did want to... You know, we're going to talk some football, obviously. You guys were very vocal about it. That's what you want, and that's what the numbers dictate that you want. So we will give you what you want. We'll talk Detroit Tigers coming up in just a little bit. But, you know, as far as this Lions team and what they've done with the draft, and we've broken that down, and we've talked about it player-wise, I'm curious to know, and this will be a good YouTube chat poll. We'll close out the one that we have right now, get you the updates. What's a better holiday, St. Patrick's Day or Cinco de Mayo? St. Patrick's Day, 61% of the vote. And you know what? To be honest, because I've become a proponent for Cinco de Mayo, to be honest, I think I did some decent work there. Yeah. I expected it to be 80-20.
There's going to be people that go out today strictly because of this conversation.
100%. There's no doubt.
They're going to try to push it over the top.
Tweet a picture. If you said, hey, I wasn't really feeling it, but Big D Energy was talking about Cinco de Mayo, and here I am.
Yep.
And you got a margarita in your hand, tweet a picture out. No, but anyway, though, this Lions team, and I'm curious to know this, and it's purely opinion-based. So when I ask you guys this question, keep in mind, it's purely opinion-based. Has the national narrative, this is going to sound crazy, coming off a 3-13-1 season, but has the national narrative begin to shift on the Lions? For real. Like, I'm talking for real. All the ha-ha, he-he stuff that we laugh about and all that kind of stuff. And on Twitter, Same New Lion said the Lions, respecting Stafford's wishes to be dealt, now appearing to be making wise use of the acquired draft capital, are things that well-run franchises do. Under Holmes and Dan Campbell, ultimately under Sheila, it feels like we've turned a corner here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I feel it.
Do you?
I feel the momentum shift.
Do you think nationally, though? Do you think... And that's the question for the YouTube chat poll. Do you think that the Lions have turned a corner nationally in terms of perception?
Yeah. I mean, you look back to draft night, right? And you go on Twitter and you see who's tweeting about the Lions. You see the draft grades that come out after that. But, you know, you got a guy like Dan Orlovsky saying, hey, be warned, NFL, the Lions are coming. You got a Chris Sims who says, hey, the Lions are doing the right things. Normally, you're not getting national pundits commenting on the Lions at all. Like, we used to not even be able to get on ESPN. Our pick would go during the commercials, and then they'd come back and highlight the next player that was drafted. So this year, I think every one of our picks got their highlight segment. So even those small little aspects, to me, show that the national narrative is changing. You know, we're going to get the draft here. And that really doesn't have much to do with the team play, but it still is the overall concept of Detroit is something now. It's not just this laughing stock in the league. People can go to the city. They can enjoy the game. And on top of that, we have a competent GM. And, you know, you saw after they made the trade with the Vikings, people were clowning the Vikings. They weren't clowning us. They were saying the Lions fleeced the Vikings.
I thought that was a little overcooked.
Yes, but no. At the same time, anytime you could take all we essentially did was move up 12 picks and move down 12 picks in the third round for a first round pick. You're never going to be able to do that again, really.
Yeah, and the Vikings didn't value anyone, so they said, hell, we'll take a third round pick.
Right,
you know?
But you also heard at the same time, you know, I think I mentioned this the other day when Dan Campbell is in the background and the Vikings are saying, yeah, we'll take this, and Dan Campbell's like giddy as a kid, and Brad Holmes like, shut the hell up, Dan, you're going to blow this
doing the
for
Moneyball
all of us.
stuff, yeah.
Exactly, because they knew that, oh my God, we were willing to give up this. We only had to give up this. So the fact that people liked the trade, they thought it was a smart trade. Not only that, the people that we drafted, they thought were good people that we drafted, which goes with last year as well. So you got back-to-back years of solid drafts. Obviously, we have to wait till the season plays out to see if it was officially a solid draft, but on paper it looks good, right? So yeah, I have felt the momentum shift, and I've been a Lions slappy my entire life. But even now, I can go to people, be a slappy, and I'm not looked at like a complete idiot.
At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And not for your Lions fandom.
Right. And that's nice. Normally, I'm looked at as an idiot because I love the Lions so much, and I think they're going to do well. Now, the bandwagon's going to catch up, and when they start doing well, this city's going to be on fire, man.
Dom Rivera says, I'm getting a margarita for sure, but in my defense, at least I'm Mexican. All right, Dom, appreciate that one. Chuck says, yes, and maybe too far, too fast. And, again, the hopium is running through the veins for longer than I thought it would. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of that. But I really feel that, though. I really feel that. And I've been told I'm a hater, but for me, it's a lot of what you said. When you listen to the pundits, and look, the talking heads are the one thing, but I mean like football guys, like football that played the game and all that stuff. It does kind of warm the heart a little bit as a Lions fan that maybe they have turned that corner. And look, I told you guys this. When they showed up on the scene, I said, I got to see a draft. And then I saw a draft. And they plucked 3 starters out of that draft.
Right.
And I said, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Finally, somebody came in here as advertised and executed what they did in their previous spots. The trade of Stafford, obviously, that helped too. Because, again, they acquired the draft capital. And you could talk about the draft capital that they received and all that kind of stuff and what Stafford did. I don't care because he's gone and they have the draft capital. It was just what it signified, the value of the draft capital, valuing how you build a team, valuing rookie contracts, all the points I've made for a while. And it just goes back to they are building a team the way you build a team now, today, in today's day and age. And through it all, if you go back and look at all the football teams that win Super Bowls, that play in the Super Bowls, a good portion of them are homegrown. They're drafted, they're homegrown, they're on rookie deals, all that kind of stuff. I finally feel like the Lions are going in that direction. And look, we're fans, so we're conditioned to think a certain way.
Right.
I.e., when the hot name receiver is out on the trade market, and Lions fans just from everywhere go, how do we trade for Tyreek Hill? How do we get him here right now? They saw through that. They're like, we're not there yet. We're not to that point where that move is going to make a difference. In theory, all that move will do is hurt what you're trying to do.
Well, and how about standards? We have standards now, right? They went after a Deebo Samuel. They put their offer out there, which it was reported that the Lions were offering them the 32 and the 34 for Deebo Samuel. but they didn't accept, and the Lions didn't overpay. That's where I think in the past we would get in trouble. It's like, we want this guy. All right, cool. But there's no limit to what we're going to do to get this guy. And we're going to do something that's going to be a detriment to the team down the road. I think Brad Holmes is, no, I'm not going to do that. I know the value of what I have. And luckily, we've been able to hold on to some equity and some capital. And we were able to turn it into Jameson Williams instead of Deebo Samuel. So it's just, it all makes sense. And we said this going into the draft. Like, I think we were all at peace just going in knowing that I don't care who they take at number 2, because you know what? The guy sitting in the room making the decision is actually smarter than me this time.
Right.
And he knows stuff I don't know. So even if he takes somebody I don't necessarily agree with, I can understand that I'm probably not as smart as that guy, so I'm going to go with it. And he earned that through last year's draft. That equity came from last year's draft, and he's built that trust.
And that's where it was with me, even through, and I know I've been labeled a Hutchinson hater and all that kind of stuff.
Why? Because you want him to produce?
Well, yeah, I mean, those were the villainous reasons.
Listening is easy. Comprehending is hard.
But I said that, though. I said many times on this show, you guys know that, I looked into this camera and said, if Brad Holmes deems that Aiden Hutch, I'm more of a Kayvon guy. If he says Hutchinson's a guy,
right.
Hey, if Brad Holmes, hands me food and says, eat this, it's good. Okay. Brad Holmes said it was good.
Yeah, because I eat it and it tastes like crap. Then I'm like, okay, Brad Holmes may not have it all together, but he has never shown to mislead me at all.
He served 5-star cuisine in that first draft, and it tasted
so
good.
Oh, so good. Tastes good still.
It does. And you know when else it's going to taste good? This year and next year when you have St. Brown on a rookie contract. And I don't feel that this was discussed enough with the Jameson Williams thing. And Sam always appreciates these kinds of things when I say it. So I'll go to Sam Flannel with this. Sam, do you realize that instead of trading 32 and 34 to the 49ers for Deebo Samuel, a $25 to $30 million a year contract, you have Jameson Williams now for under $5 million a year?
And Jameson Williams, at one point before the injury, was projected to be the number 1 wide receiver. And he's a guy that has Tyreek Hill level speed. So I'm obviously very, very thrilled. And with a contract situation, that's just the icing on the cake.
I think it's a no-brainer. Even the most ardent Lions fan that was pounding the table and say, make a deal, go get Deebo Samuel. If I said, hey, I can give you Jameson Williams for 1/5 of the money, and you get to keep 32 and 30, that's it. 100 out of 100 Lions fans would say yes to that scenario, right? Or am I crazy? 98 out of 100.
I was going to say, I think there's always a couple idiots in the room, so I'm not going to say 100%, but yeah, no, why wouldn't you take that deal? And I think the reason why a lot of people were, at least I was so hell-bent on going to get Deebo, is because I didn't think we were going to trade up to get an elite wide receiver. It was like, all right, we'll be able to get somebody at 32, but that's not really going to change the game for us. And obviously Brad Holmes felt the same way and used his assets to trade up to number 12.
Jameson Williams said if he never hurt his leg, he would have ran the fastest 40 time ever in the combine. So
I love swag like that.
He's got confidence and nothing else.
I mean, you saw him when Braylon was breaking down film when I was filling in a couple weeks ago. Braylon was breaking down Jameson Williams' film, and you would see him like on a crossing pattern just run away. And I'm talking make SEC talent cornerbacks look like high school kids out there trying to track him. And it's impressive how fast this guy and the acceleration he has coming off the ball.
On our YouTube chat thread, Pistons Fan 11, it's shifting with people that actually watch and know football, not the talking heads that don't actually watch the games. Harley Brown says, I feel a shift like never before with the Lions. But then there's also Chrome, who says, when we start winning. And that's kind of where I lie with it. For all, hey, I've taken the needle. I got the hopium needle, flowing through my veins right now. I've done that.
Right.
But at the same time, that if you roll out and you're 2-9 again, then you're 2-9.
Right. But this is winning. What they're doing right now is winning. This is baby steps towards winning, right? This isn't the game on Sunday, but not every game is won on Sunday, right? It's won during the week with the coaching scheme. It's won during the draft process. It's won by keeping your players happy, wanting them to play with you. Those are all little wins along the way that should lead to wins on Sunday. Have they yet? No, but it should.
Speaking of winning, it's winning time at Big Boy again because Strawberry Fest is back. Let's go. Some of the classic breakfast items. You know them. Strawberry French toast, strawberry hotcakes, strawberry waffles. That's always a banger. Doesn't have to be Strawberry Fest for that. You can do that anytime. If breakfast isn't your thing, the new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. You know I wasn't going to stop this. Hold on.
Staying humble is
sorry,
not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wingsnob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wingsnob. We just have better wings.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl and Stick in for D-Mac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel as well, Spencer Raxter. On our YouTube chat thread, Jake Wegener says, Neal, I'm not stopping there. Spencer says, yes, you are. I was going to tell you about the strawberry pie at Big Boy, by the way. $1.99 for a slice, because it is Strawberry Fest. But hey, we're talking Detroit Lions right now. Has the perception changed? We have it up on the YouTube chat poll right now. 76% of you say yes, that it has changed. Robert Colosia says, okay, enough sports. Can we go back to Cinco de Mayo? Corona or Pacifico?
I don't care.
Yes?
Yes. Beer me. I'm not a big beer guy, so, you know.
I'm not either anymore like I used to be, but I will in the summertime. I'll have a summer shandy or I'll have a Corona with them.
I'm a vacation beer guy.
Well said.
You know, like I'll drink a Red Stripe when I'm in Jamaica, or I'll have a lager when I'm in Mexico. But yeah, no, I'm not. Give me hard liquor, man. Like what? I'm trying to do this damn thing. I'm not trying to sit here and sip on beer all day.
I'm trying to get places.
Right. I got a blackout to get to.
Yep. Chef Chris Smith says Strawberry Fest is the best. Glad to see that Strawberry Fest still has the cachet in the town because it is strong.
Dude, and that breakfast bar that we were promoting, like, I'm sorry. When I grew up, that Big Boy breakfast bar, you felt like a king. Mashed potatoes, you throw the gravy on there. You know, you'd ignore the fruit and just go for all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Love Big Boy.
Michael Daniel says, I'm just so tired of losing with the Lions. When do we turn that corner, Stick? When do we go back to that? Because for me, it's going to be no. I mean, what's the level? I guess when you, because it will be a venomous turn, right? If it does go down that road, we will, to quote Eminem, snap back to reality.
What if we start losing
again?
again?
If they're 2-6, is that the line? If they're 1-4.
It's so tough. I mean, the season's so long. To me, I'm always as soon as they're mathematically eliminated, then I'll doubt them. You know, like I'm the mathematics
yeah, we
guy.
went through that last year.
Yeah, I'm a mathematics guy when it comes to that. But, you know, my point I would make to Lions fans is we had a winning culture here for a while, and a lot of people just didn't appreciate it. You know, you listen to the morning show with Adam. He hates on Caldwell like it's his job. But that was our floor. Our floor was a 9-7 record. That was pretty good for me, right? And I want to get back there, and I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm with D-Mac. You know, he's got that number. He's got the 34 games.
Still 17
right?
away.
And through 2 years, and I think we discussed this the day after the draft show, I feel like last year was the tear down, see what we have here. This year is the official rebuild year, right? Now we're going to start to see the progression of where we're going to go. And you saw a little bit of it at the end of last season when Dan Campbell took over the play calling. We had a healthy line. They finally brought in Reynolds and gave Goff a true wide receiver one that he could go down the field to. You saw the cohesiveness coming together. Does it carry over season to season? Hell no. We got to earn it. But at the same time, I feel better going into this year than I did last year.
Joey Two-Time says every injured wide receiver that didn't run the 40 always says that. Yeah. LOL. And hey,
well,
you're probably right.
Something's easy. Hey, I would be the fastest ever to run the 40 if I was in the combine. Look, I did it too.
I love the swag. I love the swag like that, though.
Yeah.
I do. I love when Deion Sanders goes and says, if the Lions would have drafted me, I'd have asked for so much money they would have had to put me in layaway. Like I love stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I know everybody talks about that quote. Some of the Lions people I talked to, Deion Sanders met with the Lions and met with Wayne Fontes like a month before the draft, and he was down to roll. So he's just Deion. It's just we've seen people, especially this week, kind of promote their brand or embolden their brand. So that's what that stuff is.
I'm trying to think how Deion would have fit in Detroit. Like he's flash, and Detroit's not really flash; it's more substance. But I could see Deion with some buffs.
Oh, no doubt.
Sure.
Well, and here's the thing too. He went to Atlanta, and they won. He showed up, and they won.
Yeah.
I mean,
they also had Reeves coaching. They had a running game.
That was before that. That was in the late '80s, man. That was the same draft as Barry. That was way back then.
Okay.
Falcons have been largely trashed.
Oh yeah,
the whole
they were
time
trash
too.
when I was growing up.
And he showed up on the scene.
But then the Dirty Bird era came.
And then he showed up on the scene, and the next thing you know, they were winning. And there are guys that can do that. There are guys that when they walk in the room,
right? It
bingo.
permeates through the rest of the guys. Like, I don't have to be the most confident guy in the room, but the guy on my teammate, my teammate is, that makes me more confident.
Makes you more confident,
because also
exactly.
it forces you to kind of back up what they're saying, right? Like if Spencer goes around running his mouth about Woodward Sports, that's my boy, right? I'm going to have his back. Whatever he's saying about Woodward Sports, damn it, we're going to make that happen.
Absolutely. Okay, respond to this one. Let's get personal. AC says, Stick, you can't call people idiots when you want a Malik Willis at 2.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's such a weak argument because I liked the guy at number 2 and I stuck by my guns. To me, Malik Willis is still the most talented quarterback in this draft. I don't care that they took Kenny Pickett first. That doesn't matter to me. And who cares where Malik Willis went? Once we see Malik Willis play, then we can discuss whether he was worthy enough for that number 2 pick. In my eyes, he was if we were going to go down that route for a quarterback. I talked to Scott Bischoff, our NFL draft expert, and he said, listen, this year's quarterback class is pretty weak, so if you're going to take a flyer on somebody, take it on the guy with the highest ceiling. What the hell is wrong with that logic? Tell me what's wrong with that logic.
I'm
love
gonna
pull a Neal Ruhl.
I love it that finally somebody else has got to deal with this. I like having a shift off, Stick.
Yeah,
That's
I don't care. I'll deal with it because I'll stand by anything I said. I caught a lot of flack last year because I thought the Lions were going to win 8 games. Oh, you're an idiot. They only won 3.
I gave you some of that flack,
yeah, and that's fine. Oh, they only won 3. Okay, great. That's how the season played out. Did they have an opportunity to win 8 games? Sure, if things would have went right. And that was my argument. If all things go right, the Lions could win 8 games this year. But people want to take that context away from it and just say, you said 8 games. Just like, you said Malik Willis at 2. Yeah, I did. Okay, what's wrong with that? They didn't take him. I didn't say I didn't want Hutchinson at 2. I just said if I was drafting. And I'm not mad at this draft. I love it.
And I just love that, I gave you that flack too. And we poked fun at you, and you and I still have an old-fashioned every Friday at 103.
Yeah, listen, this is sports talk, right? If you were right 100% of the time and you could predict the future, you should be running an NFL team, right? If you were that smart. But none of us are. Even the guys that run NFL teams miss. We've seen it here in Detroit a lot. And like I said, I still don't think I missed on Malik Willis. We'll see what he winds up as. We don't know what he's going to be. And that was the intriguing part about Malik Willis to me, was the upside.
Brian Tannehill's scared of him, that's for sure.
Yeah, Brian, he doesn't even want to help him.
Yeah.
And we could talk about that too. Like, what a horrible teammate. And I know it's not his job because Corey agrees with Tannehill that it's not his job to coach him up. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Because if you're confident in your own abilities, you don't worry about helping the guy that's below you. What you want to do is help that guy get to the best of his ability, and then best man wins. It's similar to what we do here at Woodward Sports with young talent coming up, like the heavyweights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I was not here to help those guys and give them little tips along the way, I'm not trying to coach them and make them into something, but I got 20 years of broadcast experience, right? They can learn a little bit from me. But if I'm like, oh my God, they may be the ones to sub on the show next, so I'm not going to help ththese guys, that's a loser mentality. And losers shouldn't belong on any team.
That is pretty weak, I thought, by Tannehill. I just thought that was weak. And I get it. And look, no one's more professional sports than me, where his job, and I get it, I'll save you, just put the phone down, close the keyboard, right, I'll save it for you. His job is to win football games as a quarterback, period, end of story. It's not to be a coach, it's not to mentor rookies. It's just, at what point do you not be a dick?
Well, we just talked about permeating through the locker room, right? When your leader is a great leader and somebody you want to stand behind, you're going to step your game up. What's the message he's sending to the locker room? What's the message he's sending to his starting wide receiver? Hey, don't coach the next kid that we just drafted, right? Like, hey, Treylon Burks is coming in. Nobody better coach him up because, you know what, it's not your job to help out new wide receivers. The hell it isn't. It's a damn team, man. It's your job. It is your job. It's literally in your especially as the starting quarterback. You are supposed to be the face of the franchise. You are supposed to be the man in the locker room, and everybody's supposed to look up to you with some semblance of respect. I couldn't look at him as with any respect at this point. And I love Tannehill. I liked Tannehill coming out of college. I thought he had a raw deal in Miami. You know, I like his mobility. I like his game. I like his hot-ass girlfriend. I like Tannehill. But this just was like, all right, dude, you ain't a leader. You're never going to be a winner.
Maybe Tannehill could ask him, say, hey, Malik, what do you got for me? Like, how can I avoid throwing 3 interceptions in a home playoff game? How can I avoid that?
Yeah. Or just, hey, Malik.
Got any ideas?
Hey, Malik, how did you take that angle when you got out of that, when you were pressured? And, like, you can learn from each other just because you're mentoring Malik. I learned, look, going back to the heavyweights, I learn a lot from watching these guys. They're fantastic with what they do with their creativity and stuff like that. It inspires me to be better. So, like, if you don't mentor people on your team, you're a loser.
Gromit, 0237. No one ran a 40 like Dion. Ran it and kept running to his limo and to the airport. That was a great line, too. Showed up at the combine, ran the 40, into the tunnel, into a limo, out of town.
Love it.
I do, too, man. He was awesome. There is no doubt about that. Sean Martin says, not until they win games, not until they beat good teams. And that's fair. That's fair. We're juiced up right now. I get it. We're juiced up.
At the end of the day, you have to win on Sunday. And that was your point about Aiden Hutchinson. That's our point about the Lions right now. But we can like the things they're doing along the way to get there. This isn't an offseason where we just sat on our hands. You know, we didn't pursue the big names that everybody wanted to, but we signed a lot of one-year contracts. We set ourselves up for success down the road, which is how you build something, right? You don't build a house by starting with the attic. You start with the foundation.
Jerry Benson says, if the Lions don't win at least 8 games, then Holmes needs to find another coach. If I don't see improvement, if they only go from 5-11 to 7-10 after 2 years. And look, Jerry, I do have look, I'll be real. I have questions. We're not at that exit of the highway yet. But we did see some things. We did see some game management things that you can question. I think that's fair. I think it's fair to question them.
Of course.
But we're not at the fire the coach thing yet. I'm not at a give them a number or else thing yet. Now, however, if you want to go through this year and then the clock's expired and we've been through 2 years, we've been through 2 drafts, got some salary cap situation, you start playing big games, and when that goes to 34, now it's real. In my eyes, this has always been my timeline since way back in August. This has always been my timeline. Once this gets full and we go to 2023 and then into 2024 with possibly 90-ish million in cap space, now we're having a different conversation. Now we're playing for keeps. Now things start to be recorded.
Well, last year, big old clock. To me, the measuring stick wasn't about wins and losses, right? We knew that was a horrible roster going in. That's what everybody said. Not only a horrible roster, one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. Dan Campbell was not set up to win year one. But what he did prove is that even through the losses, even through the struggles, he got those men to buy in and play for him, even through week 17 when there was nothing to play for. Now, that's what I'm looking for in a successful coach, because once you supply him with the right pieces, then he can motivate those men that are more talented to come out there and play like that every week. And not only that, he made Detroit kind of a desirable place to go play. Like, people talk in the league. They're texting each other like, you want to come play for this dude? We get to play football here. We get to have fun and kick ass. And I think it was a successful year, even though it was 3-13-1.
And for me, it's like all those, the late game, the little coaching things. It was his first year as an NFL head coach.
Right.
Cut him some slack. And he had Anthony Lynn as the guy telling him, what to do, who is one of the worst clock coordinators in NFL history.
And look what he did, though.
It's tough.
He did what a great leader did. He addressed the problem mid-season as a rookie
and
coach.
That's fair.
And that, to me, that showed that he was a leader. Like, hey, and Anthony stepping back like that and not pitching a bitch, not crying about it. Now he's in San Francisco doing his thing. Like, that also showed that his coaches have the respect of him. He didn't lose the locker room when he got rid of the offensive coordinator. Everybody's like, okay, DC's the man. Let's do this.
Yes.
And I love that.
My only question is, why was Anthony Lynn here?
I didn't mind that hire. You needed to surround a rookie head coach with people with veteran experience in the league.
But it was a colossal failure.
And you know what? What do you do when you're a leader and there's colossal
Fix it.
failure? You fix it fast.
Absolutely.
And they didn't wait till the end of the season. They didn't let it play out. They cut off the head of the snake immediately.
Like if you're betting somewhere else other than my bookie, that would be a colossal mistake.
Don't
Guess
do
what?
it.
You can fix it. The NBA playoffs off and rolling. The NHL playoffs are going now as well. Baseball is here. Take every under and you'll win a gajillion dollars at mybookie.com. No better place to bet on your favorite teams than on mybookie.com. When you sign up for a new account, use a promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%. That's right. Use a promo code Woodward, and they will give you some free bets. They'll sprinkle in some sugar for you to take all those unders, every single under in baseball. Phillies Rangers was scoreless through 9 innings last night. Baseball, you got a problem. But hey, in the meantime, until they fix it, mybookie.com, hammer those unders. Have a problem with gambling? Call the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruben. That guy is Stick. In for D-Mac, Darren McCarty. Happy to have you guys with us. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter. Rogelio Castillo, our Tigers beat writer, will join us here in studio at 12:38 to talk Tigers.
I love Rogelio, man. That guy, he is killing it right now, too, man. Hopefully you're following Woodward Tigers because we got something special going on with Rogelio.
No doubt. We're going to have him in at 12:38. We will talk some Tigers. I'm going to ask him the question. Is it okay for me to be what's the threat level? Because it's feeling pretty high for me.
You should be concerned.
And I'll give you the math as to why coming up in the second hour. But we are talking Detroit Lions. Our own Jeff Iafrate says it's not his job, not Tannehill we're talking about. If someone was brought to Woodward Sports to replace Neal, would he groom him? Well, Jeff, that depends on how long is left on my contract.
I mean, I would love to have Jeff in the studio right now because I'd love to ask Jeff, how'd you start out on the morning show? How'd that start out? Did it start out by coaching you and teaching you, and then eventually you were sitting in that seat right across from Adam? Or did it start out by us saying, we ain't going to help this kid. He on his own. Come on, Jeff, you're better than that. You know you're better than that. Coaching matters.
Zach says, man, I go for a tequila shot and a couple tacos. That's it. I'm taking Mom to Mexican Town for Mother's Day, LOL. Well, hey, you can get the flavor twice, I guess, this week. So good for you. Ooh. But, we are talking Detroit Lions. And, we brought up these questions about them. And you guys all seem to think that, the perception's changed nationally, which I think it has to a degree. What? What are we laughing at? What's the problem?
You can get the flavor twice.
Ooh.
Right?
Uh-oh.
Right?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Just you're going out with your mom. You can get the flavor twice. And for some reason, that wording just caught me as funny as hell. Slap the taste out your mouth twice. Tacos and your mama. Sorry to get back. Me and Spencer
The flavor Cinco de Mayo. What's wrong with you guys, man?
I'm sweating, man.
D-Mac, are you sure your voice is not well enough to come? Can you come back in here, please?
All right, Jeff's in here because I know he wants to defend himself after I kind of just attacked him on the air. And that's fine, Jeff, but for real.
Yeah.
You're saying anytime a young talent comes in, it's nobody's job to mentor them and help grow them.
Well, I didn't say it was nobody's job. I said it was not Ryan Tannehill's job to groom him. And for the point of me in the morning show, that was more of a groom. It's not like you were like, listen, I'm grooming Jeff. I don't know if maybe you knew this already, but you're like, I want Jeff to eventually take over. That's different.
Well, that was the point of giving you small bits. Like, hey, let's bring Jeff's on for Jeff's, what were we doing, trending videos? Yeah. Jeff's trending videos, just to get you acclimated, give you a little taste, just like they're going to do with Malik Willis. Give him a couple reps in practice. And then maybe it wasn't designed for you to get in the game that early, but guess what? We needed somebody in the game that early, and thank goodness you had that little bit of experience to where you were more comfortable. Not 100%, but at least you had a little bit of mic time, right?
Right, and that's where I agree with you. I think it's important to keep Malik Willis ready. I'm not going to argue that point. My only point was I just don't feel like Ryan Tannehill should feel obligated.
Yes, he should. Yes,
he shouldn't, because why would I, if I'm Ryan Tannehill and I'm fighting for my career in Tennessee, why in the hell, 32 starting quarterback jobs in the NFL, why would I groom a guy who we all can agree has higher upside than Ryan Tannehill?
So you know what I'm hearing? That you don't believe in your talents, and you know that this guy's more talented than you. That's fear talking.
That's reality.
Oh, I may lose my job because this guy may be better if I help him. Well, then guess what? You're not good enough.
I don't see it like that. With Ryan, I would defend Ryan because the way he said it too. I think context matters. Ryan didn't come out in the press conference.
No, if there's one thing I've learned this week, context does not matter at all.
Sorry. With Neal, apparently context does not matter. Yeah. But with Ryan Tannehill, it does, because the way he talked about it, he's like, listen, I'll help the kid. I mean, that's different. If you're giving advice, if they're at practice and Malik is asking Ryan questions, I feel like he should answer those. You're right. But in terms of, in general, like grooming him, in my opinion, that would be like, giving him all the tools. You get what I'm saying? I think that's where I would draw the line, and that's how I view it.
What's the point of holding that back? Like, what is Tannehill gaining by not helping the youth?
So you could still keep a job, somewhere.
Fear. It's fear.
Well, as you should. I mean,
that's like a bitch move. It really
might
is.
be. I mean, if that's what you'd call a bitch move.
If you operate off of fear, you're a bitch. It's that easy.
But I think part of it is like, does Ryan? And now listen, if it's like, if he doesn't see Malik as a threat, why wouldn't he train him? Or at least groom him and help him? And I get that point of it. But listen, like I see Malik has way more tools than Ryan Tannehill, so he's obviously a threat. I don't know, not right now at least, but in the future. I don't know if why would Ryan take, hey, I'm going to do what's best for the Tennessee Titans. Why would a player think like that in the NFL?
Because they're paying you $18 million.
No, that's not how that works, because Tennessee could turn around and get rid of Ryan. That's not how I'm working. I'm just talking from my perspective. If I was a quarterback, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm going to do what's, put on my hat and do what's best for the organization.
They can turn around and get rid of him at a $19 million cost to their cap, so they ain't going to be getting rid of him.
I'm just saying in future, like if you're grooming your replacement, all right, I groomed him. It's like, in my opinion, it's different from other. This is a weird situation with Malik Willis and Ryan Tannehill because he's not ready yet. He's not going to be ready for a couple of years. But that's just my point. Is I wouldn't do that. I don't know.
So the bottom line is this: you're a dick, and I'm not a dick because I would do it. Right? Is that what we're saying?
Well, I mean, I guess most people are dicks. If that's how you. But again, NFL quarterbacks, they probably mostly are dicks. So that makes sense.
This is talent based because Tom Brady didn't have a rough time coaching up Jimmy Garoppolo, and guess what? He got him a contract.
But he's the
Jacoby Brissett, another guy. He coached him up.
But come on.
But guess what? Tom Brady was better than them, so it doesn't matter how much you coach them up. If you're good, you're good.
That's Tom Brady. You know better than that.
And that's what I'm saying. If you have the talent, you don't have to worry about coaching people. But Ryan almost
threw as many interceptions last year as touchdowns.
Then that's what I'm talking about. So this is all based off of, oh my God, I got to protect this and I can't help anybody because I suck. That's not a great, and that's what's sending to the locker room. Now they know that Ryan Tannehill is afraid of Malik Willis.
Hey, he might be. But
He is.
That's where I'm not. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend Ryan Tannehill. I get where he's coming from. That's the point. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a dick because he sees Malik as a threat. Like, honestly, I don't blame him. I mean, Malik clearly has an higher upside. I just don't blame him for not being willing to groom him and be there for him. Like, I don't know. Listen, I don't know what's going on in practice and what the conversations are going to be. But just from what he said at the press conference, I don't blame it. I don't mind what he said. He said it's not like he said, "Hey, Malik has to learn on his own." I mean, he basically just said, "That's not my job," which is true. Is he wrong? Like, is that his job?
Yes, he's wrong.
If Jared Goff said the same thing, if we drafted Malik Willis and Jared Goff said the same thing, I'm good with it.
See,
I don't give a damn.
Jared Goff too. I'd be like, what the hell are you doing here, man? Like, you got to use your experience to help the young guy that was.
But
do
why
you think
is that
Jared
his
Goff
job?
came in as the #1 overall pick, and the people there weren't helping him and grooming him?
But what does he owe in this case? Let's just say Jared
Nobody's
Goff.
owed anything. I will say that. It's not on Jared Goff or Tannehill to do that. But as a decent human being and a great teammate, you want what's best for your team, right?
And
not what's best for Ryan Tannehill. What's best for the team.
I guess with me, it's just if somebody wants help, I'm going to try. If somebody asks me for help, I'm going to help.
Right, and as you
because I'm not a dick.
Well, I'm not. I would do the same thing. So I'm not a dick, but quarterback, I guess, is different. Like if I'm a wide receiver, let's say, and I'm training, you can play multiple guys on a field. The quarterback position, it's Ryan or Malik. Like it's not like it's it's a wide receiver. Hey, grooming. Let's say it's Amon Ra or whoever it is for the Lions you want to compare it to. It's just different. Like I'm not going to blame Jared for not being willing to groom our quarterback.
All right, Stick. What about this one from Mike G? Why do you think Tannehill should groom the next quarterback of the Toronto Argonauts and Malik Willis?
Because it's for the team.
That's all. I don't hate nobody that wants to give help. Obviously, I'm the same way. But it's just
I just
quarterbacks in the
hate
NFL.
me people. Me people and I people disgust me. It's we and us.
And
It's
I don't-
always
and I don't
we
blame
and
you for
us.
that. I
It's
don't
not
blame you.
me and I. And I hate that.
Yeah.
You see it everywhere you've worked ever. There's always the me guy. I did this. I did this. I did this. Me. I'm not gonna help. No, it's we. That guy's on my team now. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make
Well,
that guy
Stick,
the
here's
best.
the thing, and this will probably get taken out of context too. But what you're saying, I believe in what you're saying. Because for me, and going back to what you said, if they brought in a replacement to replace me or something, he wouldn't replace me because he wouldn't be as good.
Thank you.
But that's
that's just the way it is.
That's the right mentality to
He
approach
would
it, but
never
that's
be as
not-
good as me.
But that's not always the reality, Neil.
I'll do one clean for Sam Flannel for the job. He will never be as good as me. There you go, Sam Flannel. There you go.
That's a great job.
No, that's what talented people like.
But
do
that's what
and
I think.
That's the mindset you have to have. I want you to be the best Jeff you've ever been. I'm not worried about Stick's future. If Jeff blows up, guess what? I wasn't talented enough to blow up like Jeff. I ain't mad at you. I'm mad at me for sucking.
Right.
Like, and that's where I just it just disgusts me when people like that.
But I would still help people.
Of course.
If Malik Willis wanted help, or if Jeff came over, or Woodward, whoever, and said, "Hey, what do you do in this situation?" Yeah, I'd be happy to help. But the bottom line is, when it gets down to it, you're not going to be as good as me. And I'm not. That's the mentality. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the correct mentality. But I think there's also a little part of even Ryan's head that knows you can have that mentality, but is that true? Like, and you can have that mentality, but the reality is, like I said, Malik, we can all acknowledge, has a higher upside than Ryan. So even if he's in his head going, "I'm the guy," listen, if he craps the bed this year or next year, he's not the guy. So, and he knows if he's grooming Malik up, he'll be right there to take his spot. So that's just how I appreciate. And listen, it's different. Like this network, we have multiple people on shows. Let's say it was the Neal show, and you had the best show on the network. It was just you, Neal, and someone was brought here to do let's say myself.
I'd watch it.
And they're like, "Hey, this guy's the young and up and coming. We can see him doing something similar." And I was asking constant questions about your job and all this stuff. Wouldn't you question in your head? And I know that's your mentality, but if you saw me making strides, you'd think like,
no, I would. You know what I would say?
What?
I got to get it together, and I got to be better. That's what I would say.
Holy hell, we're living in the world of accountability.
I got to be better.
And I'm sure Ryan sees it the same way. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I think it's a huge year for Ryan. Couple years. He's got to, Malik will be right there ready.
He should just worry about not throwing 3 interceptions in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Start there
That's
and then
the big
work your
one.
way. Like, it always comes back to that for me. Get to the baseline. Your baseline is don't throw 3 interceptions in a home playoff
But
game
cutting off
when you're
your
the number
nose-
1 seed.
Cutting off your nose to spite your face is always dumb, right? Let's play this scenario out since we're just playing make believe, right? Ryan Tannehill leads the team. They're on the verge of playoffs. He gets hurt 4 weeks before the the playoffs. He needs Malik Willis to come in and win 2 games to get them in the playoffs so he can come back healthy. But he didn't coach up. He didn't mentor.
But that's the coach's
now Malik
job.
Willis comes. It is the coach's job, but it's also the guy that's playing the position's job to show him how to play the position as well, to learn from, to go over to the sideline, pull out the little pad, say, this is what I saw.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. Yeah. So, either way. I don't know what to say now.
No, I mean, both. I'm still going to stay in my argument, but I see where it's coming from. It makes sense.
Appreciate you tapping in, though, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Good to
Love
see
you
you,
guys.
brother, for
Love
sure.
you, Jeff.
Love you guys.
Love you, Jeff. Even though you're a dick sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Even though you wouldn't help the next up here, I love you.
Yeah, I still love you.
Don't bring in any interns around Jeff. He's just going to shoot them down and tell them they suck because he's afraid to
Absolutely.
lose his job.
Let me tell you what doesn't suck. Working out at Planet Fitness. Right now, just $0 down, $10 a month. Get you access to your home club at Planet Fitness. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. You can join in club. You're going to pass 3 of them on the way home. Just pull in the parking lot and join that way. By the way, it'll be $0 down and $10 a month. Jump on your computer, planetfitness.com. You can join there. Guess what? $0 down, $10 a month for access to your home club. Get it going, guys. Fire it up. Summertime's here. Let's get in shape with Planet Fitness because your fitness is essential.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Man, our friends at Alta Equipment, they know when it comes to getting your job completed on a budget schedule, uptime matters, and that's why they are the leaders in the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. So no matter what big project that you have, you're building a deck in the backyard, you're building a freeway, Alta is the place that you need to go. Give them a call today, 844-GO-2, that is the number 2, Alta, A-L-T-A today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters, baby.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, or Neal Ruben, depending on who you listen to. Stick is in for D-Mac, though just couldn't overcome the voice here today. Hopefully he'll be back at it tomorrow. We got Sam Flannel, we got Spencer Raxter, Jeff Ifrady tapped in as well. Rogelio Castillo will join us.
Rogelio!
Our Tigers insider at 12, about 2 segments from now. We'll just do it that way. And we'll talk Detroit Tigers. Point blank, first question I'm going to ask. Is it okay for me to be concerned? And I'm talking like borderline code red because the season's slipping away. I'm not trying to be grandiose. But you start doing the math on it, it's pretty damning, which we'll discuss coming up in just a little bit.
And you just don't want a repeat of last year, right? They did this to us last year.
But they're exactly where they were last year.
I know. That's the problem. You wish they would have carried some of that momentum over. This start is going to kill them because, I know people say, oh, you need to win the games later in the season. No, wins count the same. No matter what time of the season you're winning them.
The exact same. AC says, this is why Stick went to Detroit Mercy. Yeah. There's no dog mentality.
Yeah. You come down to 7 Mile, Livernois and tell me I ain't a dog.
Yeah, and
come on, baby.
And roll through the private gate. Yeah.
Come on. 1 mile of gated barbed wire campus.
Yeah, roll through the gate and then you tell me.
Shout out to the Titans.
But before we kind of got off track a little bit, which was good. I thought it was some good discussion. And Rob Volat says Tannehill is better than at least 10 other starters in the National Football League. So, there is that. We were talking about the Lions, and the sentiments changed nationally as far as how people view the Lions. It's starting to, at least. If they're 2-9, it will go right back to where it was. But it leads me to the question, and they couldn't fix everything in one draft. Or 2 drafts. They still couldn't fix everything. Because not everything could be solved through the draft as far as what ails this team. Now, they have gone to work. You talked about Alta. They got in the big claw machine and the diggers and went to work on their books and their salary cap situation. They're digging the trenches financially too. What else do you need to see from this team? What else do you need to see? And look, you can buy in, But what's next? What do you need to see next for this team?
For the Lions?
Correct. Isn't that what we're talking about?
That is
Yes,
what
we
we're
are.
talking about. I mean, it's tough to say in the offseason, right, what I need to see, because at the end of the day, the argument is what we see on the field on Sunday. That's really the only thing that matters. And like we were talking about a little bit earlier, though, but I like what I am seeing. I like the baby steps we are going through to get to that point we need to be on Sunday. So I've seen what I've been wanting to see out of the Lions organization for a long time. Smart moves, savvy moves, like you said, getting those contracts right, not only with the rookies and making sure we're spending our rookie money correctly, but signing these one-year prove-it deals for like a DJ Chark and stuff like that. Those are important deals because now we're going to get the best performance we ever could out of DJ Chark. He could potentially be a $15 million wide receiver down the road. He showed potential in his second year in the league. Obviously, injuries have plagued him since then, but he's got the talent to be that. But we don't have to pay until we know that he actually has that back. Those are the intelligent moves that we hadn't seen in the past. So I'm seeing what I need to see, but at the end of the day, we need to see wins, because that's all that really matters. And we won't get there till August, and I don't care about preseason either, so regular season wins.
But what do you want to see? No, I'm talking about like from a player perspective. And I get that. Right. I understand it. What's the next move? If it were Stick Holmes that were the GM of the Detroit Lions, what's next on the radar? What are you going to do?
Honestly, I don't know, because I think they're doing all the right things. There's nothing I'm like, oh, man, they need to go out and find a star tight end. Or, oh, no, they need to go out and find a new quarterback. Oh, they need to trade for a Baker Mayfield. I think we've done all the things that we can do. What I need to see out of them moving forward is just a continuation and a growth process from this. One thing that would really mark a major turnaround for me is if we were to get a high-dollar free agent to come here on a lower deal. Right? Because that means they just want to play here. It's not about the money anymore. They could go somewhere else and get money. If I saw that happen in Detroit, then I know, all right, we're almost home free here.
Yeah, but the problem goes back to it with what I talked about before. When you go into the 2024, that's when you're in a position to take on a top player. Because let's be real, a top player in the NFL now is a $25 million a year proposition.
Yeah, ain't cheap.
You have to have the firepower to be able to do that stuff. And that's fair, and I like that answer. I do. You're thinking more, I guess, in terms of philosophically or pie in the sky.
Yeah.
And that's fair. I like it. I'm here for it. I think that is a very, very good point that, quite frankly, I hadn't thought about before. When are you a destination? That's what you want to see next for this Lions team. Granted, wins are a big ingredient to that. Let's be real.
Always.
In the streets. That's what it is. For me, I would say, if it were me and I were the GM of the team, I think the next pressing matter, and it is a pressing matter to me, because you do have the capabilities to do it. I think the T.J. Hawkinson thing is huge. That is one of the overlying storylines to me going into this season. And I don't think people are necessarily thinking about it now, and we won't, because where are we? We're in May, right? Cinco de Mayo, as a matter of fact. If you're having a Corona or a Pacifico or a Modelo
or a tequila.
Or with chips and guac, whatever you're doing. You're not thinking about that right now. You're thinking about Cinco de Mayo, and you're thinking, man, Neal is right. This is a lot cooler than St. Patrick's Day. We can sit outside on a patio right now and do this to some degree. I know that's what you're thinking. But for me, that T.J. Hawkinson thing is big, because this is going to be I don't want to say a huge investment, but it'll be a moderate size investment. And you have to make that decision, right? Sam Flannel, I go to you. You're a very reasonable man. Am I making too much of this whole T.J. Hawkinson thing?
No, because to some extent, you still don't know exactly what you have out of him.
That's it.
He had one Pro Bowl year in which he played more like an alternate. I don't think he deserved it. He's been hurt a couple of times. It's kind of a prove-it year for him. And he could be a very big piece to this offense, like a Travis Kelce or a George Kittle. That's what you want from him. Travis Kelce won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. It is a big year for T.J. Hawkinson. It's actually more big than I think people even know.
Yeah, and that's, for me, because when you're starting to talk about tight ends in free agency and young tight ends in free agency, now you're getting in that 14-ish, 15-ish million, because that's the market. That's right. That's what the market says it will be. Because if you're a top-tier tight end, what are they, 20-ish right now? It stands to reason. So you're talking about multi-year deal, $15 million per. That's good. It's not going to eat up all that, luscious cap space that they have in 2024. At least they're on pace to have. But it does take some of that away. And look, I know the reputation that I have with everybody where, Neal, you would just have everybody be on a rookie contract and not spend any money and move on, which is not true. I talked about that when we talked about the safety situation. When Williams was available, I was on that train, especially with the Kyle Hamilton people that wanted to draft Kyle Hamilton. Give me the best one at 15 instead of an unknown at 10. But I'll spend the money if I know what I'm spending it on.
Right.
And that's what I want to see. How is Brad Holmes going to maneuver this? Because this is different than the draft. And this is really, I think, his first crack at player contracts. What do you have? What do you think you have?
Yeah, he hadn't gotten to that point. Really, the only thing he had to deal with was Matthew Stafford, right, and that contract and how to deal with him wanting out. With TJ Hawkinson, it's not only about what you want to pay Hawkinson, it's about what your alternatives are, too. We can't forget about that. That if they don't have another tight end that they feel will come into this system and perform, then you spend the money on Hawkinson. But obviously, we're dealing with smart people here, so if they see somebody out there that they can sign to come in and fill this void for cheaper, they will do it, and that goes back to my never-ending faith in Brad Holmes, that he's smart enough to see that. So to me, Hawkinson is what Hawkinson is, right? He is what he is on paper. We've seen flashes of brilliance out of him. We've seen him just hide for 8 games some seasons as well. We've seen some injury problems. So it's not just about TJ Hawkinson. It's about who's available
but it's the
and
principle
what else is
of
out
that.
there.
Yes, but that all ties into my point, though, is that how do you handle that? How do you negotiate that? And you guys know I'm a simp for Spot Track. You guys know that it's my thing. I love it. And I always will defer to them because it's the circle that they're in. As far as market value, they have TJ Hawkinson pegged for a market value of about 4 years and $51 million. That would put him 5th among tight ends.
That's fair.
And if you look at the comparable numbers to that right now, Dallas Goedert, he's on the 457. He's got a 4-year, $57 million contract right now.
Yeah.
So if I'm TJ Hawkinson, that's why Spot Track might be undershooting that, because if I'm Hawkinson's agent, I look at Dallas Goedert and I say 4 for 57. That's a good start. Dallas Goedert's getting that.
And that's the tough part.
You see what I'm saying?
The market's set with a guy like Dallas Goedert, right?
Now Mark Andrews is 4 at 57 too.
But
that's different,
tight end.
and that's going to be different when he comes up.
Yeah, and also, back to like when we made Stafford the highest paid quarterback in the league, you're projecting down the road too. By the end of that contract, he was sitting like 12th or 15th. So we may pay him a little bit of money up front now, but in 3 or 4 years, where's that going to leave him in the scheme of tight ends and how they're being paid? So the salary cap fluctuates. What may seem like an egregious deal right now, maybe a bargain in 2 years.
I'll tell you what's a bargain. Gypsy Vodka is a bargain. Summertime is here. There's no better way to enjoy a Michigan summer day or night with some Gypsy Vodka. You guys know how I roll it. Twist off the cap, glass with some ice, the Gypsy, a little more Gypsy, club soda, couple lime. Boom, we are rocking and rolling, to quote Kid Rock, all summer long with Gypsy Vodka. Gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times, really cool bottle. All that's great. But the bottom line is this. It's good tasting vodka, one of the smoothest, best tasting vodkas on the market. Go to the store, try a bottle, ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Summer in the D is just around the corner, and Woodward Sports is ready for all the heat. Go Tigers! From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it. You've heard about it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. You can host your corporate party, team building event, or just have a good time with your family and friends. Multiple ways you can play. $10 open unlimited play. You can stay there all day, have a great time. Or $120 lane reservation. Private lane, up to 10 people. And you know about their $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer. No hassle, no fuss, just great beer. You want to make a decision, you know what you like. They have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So come on down to Hamtramck, see them in person, or visit them online at fullingwarehouse.com. Again, that is fullingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruben or Neal Ruhl, whichever one you prefer, as long as they get it right on the check. That's all I care about. We got Stick in for DMAC. Had to go to the bullpen today. The old crafty right-hander Stick is out. You know, he's throwing some junk balls and everything like that. It makes the 87-mile-an-hour fastball that he has. It makes it better.
Yeah, I'd start out with the junk, then I'd go to the 87.
Yeah.
I'm a backwards pitcher like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the 87 looks like 91 after you throw those Frisbees up there.
It's all about deception.
Absolutely it is. Rogelio Castillo, our Tigers insider, will join us coming up in just a little bit in studio. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter here in the house, the man that counts himself down to commercials, which is great. I love that. Never change, Spencer.
It's all about routine, man.
That's how you become great.
Yeah, you know. Find something that works for you and stay with it. And I like counting myself in, man. It keeps me sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. Lions heavy show today. And I like to address these checkpoints every so often. And we'll do it throughout the summer.
The State of the Union.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk NHL playoffs coming up towards the end of the show as well. We'll get you around. Don't worry about that. But for me, Stick, a big question that I have, but it's a good question to have, is as far as looking around to see what young Lions you want to see improve for next year. And as you survey the scene, for me, it's pretty simple because, and that's the guy right there. Man, it's almost like we planned this for it to work this way.
Is that show prep?
Levi Onwuzurike. Look, he came in with a lot of great expectations. The Lions said he was a first-round pick. In their mind, they were ecstatic where they got him. He is number 1 and number 1A for me because I'm really curious to see what you have with this guy. I really am curious to see because if he pans out, and injuries were a problem, there were stretches of inconsistent play, but there were flashes too. And that's what I focused on a little bit more. I know I'm a negative guy, I've been told. But I focus a little more on the flashes that we saw from Onwuzurike. Well, if he's a player, man, they're quickly one of the worst defenses that we've seen in a while has turned into an embarrassment of riches in 2 seasons, if that's the case.
Yeah, especially with the 2 guys that they drafted this year on the defensive line. You know, like that's starting to put some pressure on some quarterbacks. The guy I'm looking forward to was the undrafted free agent last year, Jerry Jacobs. I mean, at the end of the season, I thought he was playing some of the best cornerback that we saw the Lions in the past couple years. So I want to see that guy back on the field, and I want to see him take a step forward this year because defense is the concern, right? We can look at the offensive side of the ball, and I feel if the line stays healthy, it alleviates a lot of issues that we have, right? You know, our running game will be strong. The protection for Goff will be strong. We have some wide receivers now that we can actually say are NFL wide receivers. We're not trying to get Brett Perriman's son on the team early in the season and then it just doesn't work out. Like, we actually have legitimate NFL wide receivers on this squad. So the defensive side of the ball is more important to me watching this year, and Jerry Jacobs, I think, is a huge part of that.
Nicholas Duncan says if Hawk isn't healthy, his next team will be the Rams, LOL. AC says, I want a private lane like my fellow rich people who have 2 furnaces. It's a lifestyle, AC. Like, that's the way that it is. Like, when you go to Little Caesars Arena, you got to have the suite, all that kind of stuff. You can't be mingling with everybody, AC. That's not the way that it works. But for me, and look, I understand that, and I don't disagree with that. There are no wrong answers, but that's kind of the question to you guys, the young players that you want to see take a step forward because of the tremendous value. Melifonwu's another one.
Yeah.
Saw some flashes.
Yeah.
Saw some flashes the other way, but saw some flashes. And when you look at, because of the foul money nature of what it is, and yes, even Anzarike is quote-unquote found money. Now, that he was a target for them, somebody that they wanted, but Melifon was another guy, third-round draft pick.
Right.
I don't know. I'm scared that I know what I have in Okudah. And I know on the bottom line, 2 to 4 with Braylon Edwards and Ryan Armani, I know that they got the flag out and they're expecting big things, and that's cool, but I got to see it. And I'm a little more skeptical than they are. That's just business. That's just what I think because of the nature of the Achilles thing.
I'm with you on Okudah. I mean, I think we all hope for the best with Okudah, but we haven't seen the best out of Okudah. I thought, if anything, they're just going to move him to safety because he maybe lost a step with the injury, and at least we have a solid safety that we can just set and forget for the next 5 or 6 years. And now you're not essentially wasting that 3rd overall pick. You're getting some service out of him. But I'm all for Okudah coming back healthy and being what we thought he was, right? The whole Dennis Green. I want him to be what we thought he was. And not to be just too obvious about people you want to see step forward, the young guys, but Penei Sewell. I mean, he'd had a great rookie year, but I want him to be dominant this year, every single game, because you saw flashes of it last year, even going up against Bosa in the first game, handled that. But later on in the season, a couple issues here and there. But I want him to be the next guy, and for him, when we're talking about him elevating his game, we're talking about him already being a good player,
right?
Taking it to a
You're
great
saying
player.
like when he's in his 4th year, you're already fitting the gold jacket
exactly.
and all that kind of stuff.
That's
I get
a step
that.
forward. And with Amon-Ra St. Brown, another obvious guy, we want to see a step forward. But I think with him, it's also important not to see a step backwards because I think he came in and surprised everybody, right? Being a 4th-round pick, coming in, 0 drop passes, the amount of targets that he got, what he meant to that offense, and Jared Goff using him as a security blanket later in the season. Nobody saw that coming. If he can repeat that this year and do it over all of the games, not just the handful of games at the end, then I think we're seeing something great out of him as well. So I'm not really looking for him to take a major step forward. I just don't want to see him take a step back at all.
Okay, I get that. Zeke on our YouTube chat, though, remember you can get involved on there as well. He's got a very good one here, and we didn't even discuss it. I didn't even think about it. But Zeke says, to me, this is a make or break year for DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, okay.
And at what point do you have to be healthy the whole time?
This NFL is so different, man. Like, honestly, you don't have to be that dominant running back anymore. I mean, there's 2 in the league, 3 in the. Jonathan Taylor is really the only one that's popping in my head right now. It's I got to give
workhorse.
I got to give this guy the ball 30 times a game. Outside of that, look at how running backs are valued now. None went in the first round this year, right? And that's crazy. And then a couple of years ago, CEH was the only one to go in the first round. That was 32. It's not like these guys are coveted because what draft? We were looking at Braylon Edwards' draft the other day, and it's like Cedric Benson, number 3. Like all these crappy running backs that went high in the draft. You don't see that anymore. So the running back position isn't as important as it used to be because of how they interchange these guys. Jamal Jefferson, that's somebody who needs to take a step forward. If he didn't get injured last year, who knows? Because when he was in the game, he was moving the pile.
I think they proved a lot of that due to Sewell. It didn't matter who played running back.
Exactly.
You put him in there, and they ran the football because through all the injuries at the running back spot, they were still a top 10 rushing attack in the NFL.
Because we can reestablish the line of scrimmage now. It always helps when you're pushing your defense back 2 yards and your running back doesn't see contact until at least 2 yards down the field.
It's interesting, the DeAndre Swift thing, because he was a second-round pick.
Yep.
So there's no fifth-year option. So next year, in 2023, he's making $1.7 million, and that's it. He's a free agent. He's free to walk. So it is big time for him this year. And then certainly into next year as well, where it's going to be his time to make the money. What about? I value your opinion in these scenarios, Sam Flannel. DeAndre Swift, ... Your thoughts?
DeAndre Swift will lead the NFC in rushing this year.
Whoa.
Hot take coming through. Woof. Hot take. Pick it up. You said the leading running back.
In the NFC. He's not going to be above Jonathan Taylor or like Derrick Henry, but in the NFC, there aren't a ton of good running backs, and he's running behind that offensive line if he stays healthy, obviously, because when he has been healthy, he showed some flashes. And I think he's every bit as talented as a guy like Jonathan Taylor or what was that guy from Ohio State? I forgot his name. But I think he's that good, and I think he's going to lead the NFC in rushing.
I mean, when DeAndre Swift came out in the draft, I had him as the number 1 running back on my draft board. You know, like I always talk about dynasty football and fantasy football, but I do a lot of research on these running backs. And, like, it was Swift. Everybody was concerned about Taylor's usage and his ability to catch the ball coming out of the backfield. And, like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was, like, 4th on that list till he got drafted by Kansas City. Then he jumped to the number 1 running back off the board.
To counter Sam's point, DeAndre Swift is going to be 3rd in his division in rushing. He's going to be behind Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones for rushing yards. And he's not as good of a running back as those guys. He might have more all-purpose yards if he can stay healthy, but strictly rushing yards, Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones are better.
You are getting roasted in the YouTube chat
Look at
thread
all the
right
names
now.
that are popping up.
Alvin
Kamara,
McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, who can never stay healthy. Kamara, who's never had an 1,000-yard season. Aaron Jones, who's going to split carries with A.J. Dillon. Dalvin Cook is the only one I'm really concerned about, but he shares carries with Alexander Madison. You see it, and you guys will want that to happen. DeAndre Swift will lead the NFC in rushing this year.
Look at Sam Flannel.
At least he can back it up.
Look at Sam Flannel not backing down. I love it.
No.
Staring right into the eye of the beast.
It's all right, Sam. I don't get agreed with everything I say either, so it's okay, man.
I welcome the hate, and for the and like you guys always said, like you guys will agree with, if DeAndre Swift leads the NFC in rushing, it's good for the Lions. That's what we want.
If he leads the NFC in rushing,
I will buy you new flannels. I will buy you 10 new flannels. How's that?
Oh, that would be amazing.
And you
Thank
can wear
sir.
one of them to the home playoff game after they win the division.
Yeah.
Hey, and isn't that what we all want?
God.
Will you wear the Debo one?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you imagine a home playoff game? Like,
electric.
I still have a rough time wrapping my brain around the insanity. Like waking up that morning, like, oh my God, we're going to a playoff game in Detroit today. Because, when we made the playoffs a couple years ago under Jim Caldwell, when we used to do that 50% of the time, which sucks to some people. But when we used to make the playoffs, it was amazing to wake up that day like, oh my God, we're watching playoff football.
Today,
and the Lions are playing. And if it was home, I swear this place is gonna, like Detroit, you will never see anything like a Detroit home playoff game.
And real quick, before we cut to the break, before Sam Flannel broke the chat room in there, somebody asked a question, and literally I was reading the question as Sam Flannel was making his bold proclamation that DeAndre Swift would lead the NFC in rushing. They asked the question, I didn't catch whose name it was, who on the defensive line, with all these addition to the Lions' defensive line, who is the one who's on the clock? I think that's pretty simple, right? It's Michael Brockers.
Yes.
I mean, that's very easy, right?
I'd be shocked if he even made
the team.
Made the team this year.
Yeah.
Like, made it through to the regular season with Brockers.
I mean, that's what I think it is, but I'm simple like that sometimes. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse disorder. Their new podcast called This is the F Word helps spread awareness about the dangers of fentanyl and other addictions in our community. Go to thesportsma.com. Had somebody ask in the chat the other day again for the website address. thesportsma.com if you are struggling. But you know what? If somebody you know is struggling, again, go to thesportsma.com. It's a sports marketing agency.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl and Stick in for DMAC here with you today. We got Sam Flannel, we got Spencer Rapp. Like that, as you said, Cinco de Mayo will be the day that Sam Flannel changed the fortunes for the entire Lions franchise, the entire city of Detroit, and football fans across the state of Michigan, except in the UP.
I'm telling you, man, if Sam Flannel gets this right, we're onto something.
And we would all owe Sam Flannel a debt of gratitude.
I told him 10 flannels.
That's just the start.
Get him a
That's just the
flannel
start.
sombrero.
For Cinco de Mayo. There you go. Absolutely. Tomorrow is Debo Flannel Friday, by the way.
Oh, I'm coming in hot with the Debo flannel.
I know. You always do. You absolutely always do. But yeah, you set the YouTube chat on fire. There was no doubt about that. To the point where the Webchams cat, the best adult dating site, started spamming the YouTube chat thread. That's when you know your network's going places.
Yeah, when bots see you as something they need to get their message out on, you know you're doing something
You know
right.
you're doing something right. Absolutely.
And I just should stop clicking on those links.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, but you probably should do that.
Hot MILFs in my area? Is that
Wait,
wait. What did it say?
Am I alone? Am I alone right now? Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Well, I happen to be alone.
Yesterday, Spencer hit us with a text, as we've told you many, many times before. We have a group text where throughout the day, throughout when stuff's going on, we'll bounce text back and forth, funny stuff on Twitter, pretty much all the stuff you guys do as well. And I want you to give the story, Spencer, because your father was going on about the 68 Tigers, right?
Yeah, my dad was talking about the 68 Tigers because I brought up this topic that we were going to talk about with him, and he's talking about Norm Cash. He's a big Norm Cash guy, and he was just talking about that era of baseball and what that Tigers team meant to him growing up. And 68 Tigers, I mean, that's way before I was even an afterthought, so I can't even comment on that. I can't comment on the 84 Tigers. That's before I was even thought of again. But it's something that meant a lot to him. It's a team that meant a lot to him in his day, in his era. And so that's what I brought up this topic, that is, what's your favorite team in Detroit sports history? We got a lot to choose from. And it was weird because I was writing all these down and I didn't find a Lions team. There wasn't one Lions team I could put my finger on to put up there with the 84 Tigers.
And that one playoff game we won?
Yeah,
we were there.
Yeah, but it's tough. There's so many good teams to choose from. 02 Wings, Going to Work Pistons, Russian 5, Bad Boys, 84 Tigers, 68 Tigers. And so,
do they have to be champions for you,
no.
or is it just
No,
your favorite
your favorite team?
Okay.
I think that's what opens it up for me, because as far as I go, I'm going to go with that 91 Lions team is my favorite Detroit team of all time. I was a kid. They had been, awful for a long time. They had Barry Sanders. They had Wayne Fontes, who is my favorite coach in the history of sports. I love Wayne Fontes. I love him for the quote when they were talking about Barry Sanders not having to do training camp. He said, "I treat all my players the same, differently." I love Wayne Fontes. I love that team. They popped up on the scene. They won the division. They went 12-4. They ripped off that winning streak. They won a playoff game. They beat the Cowboys. All the hype, all the stuff that they were never supposed to do, that the Lions never did again,
right?
As a matter of fact. And it won't be part of the lore with everybody. And 04 Pistons will get a lot of love and all that kind of stuff. And I understand that, and that's cool. And winning the championship, sure. I can't crush you on that. But for me, it's that 91 Lions team. And I back it up to say, what if this year's Lions team were the 91 Lions team and went 12-4 and won a division and won a playoff game? It would be magical. It would be magical in this city.
Yeah.
That's my rationale behind it. What do you got, Stick?
I mean, look at the 84 Tigers there. I was 3 when they won that World Series, but it obviously was a major part of me growing up. Like the 96 Wings, I was in high school, and that put the Red Wings kind of back on the map, because when I was growing up, they were the Dead Wings. And then you had the 89-90 Pistons. Really 3 teams popped into my head when you said this. And the reason why I asked about the championship, and I'm glad you went with a non-championship team, that 2006 Tigers team, when Maglio hit that
same
walk-off
quality as
against the
that
A's,
Lions team to me.
I had more fun that season than any year in my life, honestly. And I loved every player on that team. And it was just, since 85, 2004, we really didn't experience any good Tigers. Like, I grew up rooting for Bobby Higginson and Juan Gonzalez in the outfield, and Damian Easley was our only all-star. So when we finally got back to, this is what real baseball looks like? Like, this is what championship caliber baseball looks like? That was one of my favorite teams. Growing up, obviously, the 89 Pistons, I got to go with that as my favorite team because I think that's what really started my fandom for Detroit sports in general. Like, I was a football fan, I was a baseball fan, but watching your team win a championship at that young age just sets an impression on you that these are my guys for life, right? And I could name everybody on that roster. I used to go to McDonald's to get the posters to put up in my room.
What a slappy.
I had the Dennis Rodman shirt with the cartoon and the big ears, the worm and all that stuff. And then, of course, the 2004 Pistons. I was 23 then, so I was cognizant of everything, and now it's a part of your being as a young adult. And I think I could still name all 12 players that were on that roster, the rotation, how they brought them off the bench, the shooting percentages of Chauncey and Rip at the free throw line. I memorized that team beyond any other team that I've ever been a part of, but it's ever been a part of my life. And so the 2004 team definitely is up there, but I got to hand it to the 89 team for making me the fan I am.
And on the YouTube chat thread, a YT Sparty says the 68 Detroit Tigers, given what was going on in the city. And that's fair, too. That was a big championship for the city with the climate of the town at the time and the riots and everything that was going on. That was very, very big. That was pretty powerful, too, to see, black people, white people come together. Nobody cared at that moment, man.
At the 60s, yeah. In the 60s, that's a big damn deal, though.
The Tigers won, man. That was all that mattered. And it was
honestly,
great.
Not to get too romantic, but that's what's great about sports, right?
Yeah.
That really is what's great about sports. It doesn't matter your background. If you can play the game, you can play the game. And then when our teams win, one of my favorite memories is from when the Red Wings won, I believe it was 08. Did they win in 08? Around that time, right? The Red Wings won, and I'm downtown outside the Fox Theater. There's this 6'5", 300-pound black dude, right? Just outside Fox Theater, raising his hand, and every little 5-foot tall white girl walking by, jumping up and giving him five, and it was just, he's like, yeah, white girl, white girl,
When you win, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody's family. When the Pistons won in 04, I was living down by Belle Isle, and I lived right off Jefferson. I just walked out of my apartment down to Jefferson because it was in gridlock of just people wanting to party in the city, and it was an amazing experience. And yeah, I love that sports brings all cultures together.
No, it is great. What about you, Sam Flannel? Curious to get we'll go over to Spencer too, get the youngster opinion on it.
The 2012 Tigers, the one that made the World Series and lost to San Francisco. That was one of the reasons was because that was the off season and then the season where we got Prince Fielder, and I was so excited. We were going to have Cabrera and Fielder. You had Verlander, Scherzer, Sanchez, Porcello, Pfister. That bullpen that was terrifying to watch. Jose Valverde almost blowing so many saves but getting 35. Sweeping the Yankees in the ALCS. Of course, that World Series was disappointing, but that team was such a fun team to watch, and it was kind of a roller coaster at the same time.
What do you got, Spencer?
For me, it's the going to work Pistons. I mean, that's, I was able to experience that firsthand. My dad would get tickets from this rich doctor on his route, and he had them 2 rows behind the Pistons bench. Woo-wee. And so we'd go and we saw Kobe and Shaq, Yao Ming and T-Mac, and we saw these Pistons teams that everybody thought, oh, they're just a bunch of bums. They don't have any stars. They came in, they're holding teams to 70 points, 60 points a game. They're putting up dunks. They got Ben Wallace swatting Shaq, 6'7" Ben Wallace taking down these monsters.
What's funny about that team is if it were me watching it and I was living in Montana, I'd be like, I can't stand to watch this basketball.
Yes, and it was just a beautiful thing. And another, a caveat, it's definitely them, but the 2002 Red Wings team, the best hockey team ever compiled, just a ridiculous amount of Hall of Famers on that team. We will never see a team in any sport with that good, that had that many amazing players, and
at least not a non-baseball. Yeah, at least not a non-baseball team.
I was going to say salary cap with baseball, we may get there again.
Yeah, but it was insane to see all those guys on the ice at one time and how they played, just the beauty of their play. Each of them just having such an excellent, different capabilities, all of them compiling together. You got Scotty at the helm, and it's just I just loved it. It's so good to reminisce.
Andrew says, Neal, I was at the championship game in Washington, D.C. when the Lions lost. People forget. I know they got cooked, but people forget that was a 17-7 game at halftime. So people forget that they were right there. It might have been 17-10 even now that I think about it, but it was closer than people think. Anyway, here on Mark, 1989 Michigan basketball team. That was a fun team too.
Yeah.
That was. I like Glenn Rice a lot.
The 99 Spartans. That was a fun time too. I was. You mentioned University of Detroit. I was my freshman year at University of Detroit. That day we drove up to East Lansing and wound up in Cedar Village and a bunch of apartment parties. And that team supplied me with a lot of great memories. And shout out to the ladies at MSU.
Yeah,
Gets down in Cedar Village.
Fab Five getting some love as well, and certainly you can make the case for them. They transformed basketball.
Yeah,
the game across the world.
Even the way you look at it, the long shorts, the black socks, like they were culture.
Yeah, and the people talk about the '89 Pistons, just to climb to the top and everything that they had to go through. Certainly it was incredible. When we come back, we're joined by our guy, Rogelio Castillo, our Tigers insider. We're going to talk Detroit Tigers after Stick tells you about Lady Jane's.
Yeah, Lady Jane's, actually, right when I get off the air here, I am going to get my hair cut at 1 o'clock with the lovely JC. She is going to cut my hair, and it's going to be wicked awesome because that's the only standard that they have here at Lady Jane's. And right now, they're giving you a chance to get $100,000. You want to find out how to do it? Just come get your hair cut. They got locations all over Metro Detroit, and when you come in, you get treated like a king. Precision haircuts that are wicked awesome. Lady Jane's.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We all know Cade should have been Rookie of the Year, but you know the saying, Detroit versus everybody.
Uh-oh, Cunningham all by himself.
Woodward Sports.
You look around our beautiful studio, you see the stickers on the glass behind me. That's all because of Sticker Genius. They redid this with the Planet Fitness studio, and they did it in less than 24 hours. And this is a big room. So whether you got a sticker project at your house or you need some window clings like are behind me, make sure you go to stickergenius.com. They got custom reusable stickers, signs, and more. And we can't thank them enough for the wonderful job that they did right here at Woodward Sports. Make sure you go stickergenius.com.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl here with Stick, who's in for D-Mac Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Right now in studio, we are joined by our newest addition here to Woodward Sports. He covers the Detroit Tigers for us. Nobody is as locked in as this guy. Rogelio Castillo here in studio. Follow him on Twitter at RajCastBaseball. Like a lot of people do, great coverage of the Tigers. Breaks down a lot of stuff. Rogelio, what's popping, man? I'm pretty good. You got the Erie Seawolves representing there tonight.
Yeah, just the Seawolves are over 500 and hitting the ball. So
are they really?
Yeah.
Well, that's different. That's a unique style of baseball.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Let's just cut the crap. All right.
All right.
What the hell's going on? Because look, Rogelio, I'm concerned. My threat level was a little bit higher, I think, than most, but I'm really worried, man. Your thoughts?
Well, yesterday I was down there and talking to AJ Hinch before the game, and he was talking about that the offense just needs to execute, and they're doing everything they can. But you can blame the dead ball, which is something that has shown, statistically speaking, has affected the baseball.
I believe that.
For sure.
Yeah.
But when you have your heart of your lineup yesterday going, and I wrote an article about this, 0 for 14, and in the first game you win because the Pirates were playing Little League Baseball with 2 errors in the fifth that led to all 3 runs, essentially. Well, I'm sorry, there's 3 errors, but still, the bad baseball aside, your offense can't go 0 for 14, 0 for 15, the heart of the order. And Jonathan Scope, I know a lot of people want to change Jonathan Scope and DFA him and all those kind of silly comments you always hear, but who are you going to replace? The Tigers right now are lacking a little bit of depth, and I know Cody Clemens is doing really well in AAA, but AAA is a completely different beast than Major League, than the big league. So I think when your big bats like that are struggling, they're dead last in home runs at 10. I mean, when the Pirates are all the Pirates don't even have power bats, and they got a pair of home runs yesterday. So, Candelara's coming around slowly but surely, but I don't know. When you zero in on Austin Meadows now as your only offensive threat, that's going to hinder the rest of your lineup. But they're not doing anything. I mean, Scope is missing fastballs down the middle, meatballs that anybody else would swing at or could swing at any contact, but not lack of trying, but they're not good right now.
I hate to put you on the spot, but I mean, that's what it is.
That's the thing. Like you can go through all the analytics and all that, but at the end of the day, they're just not good, and that's what's scary. Do you see them getting better though? Because that's like we were talking earlier. That's what we saw last year. They stumbled out of the gate, but then by the end of the season, you're like, oh, this is a competitive team. If they would have done this early in the season, we may have been competing for a playoff spot.
And Rogelio, here's my point with all this, okay? I think we can all agree. I mean, we have to agree. It's mathematical fact. It took 90 wins to get to the playoffs last year in the American League.
Right.
Okay? So going off of math, they got to go, 88 and 57 the rest of the way to get to 90? Like, they got to win 82 games.
Right.
The rest of the year. You know what I mean? You got to go 82 and 57. What evidence would you have to support that they can go 82 and 57? There's none.
No, I mean, I can argue all day about Riley Green and coming back and all that, but then this is a guy you're asking a lot for a prospect who hasn't played in the major leagues before. So even with that bat coming back, even with Victor Reyes, he's a role player at best, they are still not going to lack the offensive punch. And the bullpen, which is number one in the league, which is great and all, but your starting staff is still not. They're minus, I think, around 6 K per 9. You have to get more strikeouts from your starting staff in order to work. Michael Padilla yesterday was just hanging meatballs down Broadway, or down Woodward, I should say. Broadway.
Right, there you go. I like
down
it.
Woodward, and again, he's going to go out there and give you 4 or 5 innings, but after 3 innings, I think it was around 60 pitches. I mean, the bullpen's going to tire out at some point. So I think what Hinch is doing with the rotation is masterful in the sense that he's using the best of what he has. So for anybody that's trying to blame, I guess, what they have currently, you're only good as the tools you have. And so I think the starting pitching will get better. As the offense, I mean, I think it'll heat up, but not to 90 wins. I said in the beginning of the year, I said 81 and 81, and I'll still stick with that because they don't have.
Well, you got a lot of work to do. To get to 81 and 81.
And that's better than Vegas projected, too, because I remember that being the thing. I think Vegas had us at
78 and a half.
78. At one point, it was 77.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, that's an easy bet. They'll for sure clear that. Now it's like,
hey.
Vegas
But see,
makes
here's
money
the thing.
for a reason.
Here's the thing that gets me. Thomas Ackerson says, the Tigers will get hot when the weather gets hot. They always do. But, guys, playoffs, right? Opening day. That was the talk. Playoffs. Said, okay, guys, if that's what you want. Again, this is the math. 82 and 57 the rest of the way. Like, it's getting real now.
Well, the Tigers were supposed to be the team out of the big 4 here that were going to make the first step into the playoffs. Because we've asked that question, I think, ad nauseum on this network. Of the 4 teams, who's next? And majority of the time, it's either Tigers or Red Wings. But like a lot of people thought Tigers would take that step forward this year. And it's just, I'm not saying I'm disappointed.
I'm not mad.
I'm not mad.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, but I'm not even disappointed. It's just like I'm confused, right? Because we added good pieces. We did the right things. Our starting pitching has improved, but our bats are just nowhere to be found. And this whole argument, when it heats up, they'll get better. What about Chicago teams? What about New York teams? They're all playing in the same damn climate we are, essentially.
I mean, you hate to say it, Rogelio, but the Yankees are hitting the ball out of the park, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. But I guess, am I crazy? Like, the playoffs are dead. To me, that's dead. That's over. No, I mean, for real. And for that reason, to me, the season's dead. Because I have no evidence to suggest that they can go 82 and 57. So to me, it's over.
To a certain extent, I want to say it's over, but I just like them to play competitive like they did last year. I mean, even with the run scoring, which is the lowest it's been since 1981, you still see teams overcome it. For example, you talk about the Yankees. But keep in mind, the Yankees have a home ballpark where they just, you can literally hit a pop fly, it's out. But as far as the Tigers are concerned, I'd like them to compete in the division. If you can't even beat your division, they've won one series this year, and that's against the Royals. The Royals are sitting in last. You got wiped out by the White Sox. You got swept by the Twins. I mean, they won one game against Chicago, and then they play 15 games the next 14 days. That's a grind, and luckily they have Oakland, who's coming down to earth. But you go to Houston tonight. I mean, the Tigers are literally walking one of those gauntlets just with knives flying around, and flames and going. But it goes beyond that. Their offense still has to step up. I don't want to say it's over, but they really need to really kind of make it more competitive for me, at least. I didn't say they were going to make the playoffs. I thought they were going to become a little close, but not playoffs.
Clomp Sauce on our YouTube chat thread says you don't make the playoffs in April, but you can miss them in April. And that was something that I said week 1 into the season. And it's just, for me, the math is too damning. It is, man. Like, you start breaking it down like that.
It becomes hard.
If you want to swim in these waters, though, am I crazy? Am I crazy to suggest that, Rogelio?
No,
I mean, because to me, it's the playoffs. Because that's what I was told. That's what we were talking about. To me, it's the playoffs, and I think it's over for that.
I don't think you're crazy at all, Neil. I mean, look at Akil Baddoo. He's struggling. He had a hit yesterday. He had some better at bats.
Like, that was newsworthy to you. He had a hit.
Look, I'm now in their 2 games. Come on, I gotta do my job. But no, it's. They have to get offense from somewhere, and they're not getting it from nowhere. And
I got to say this, though. It's a little crazy to call the season over on May 5th.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that either.
There's 162 games.
People are saying it. You can't make the playoffs in April, but you can miss it.
Crazy yes, and that's true. But baseball is also a game where you go on a 15-game winning streak, and all of a sudden, all of that wipes away. So, like,
i.e. the Cardinals.
Yeah, and I'm a mathematics guy. The numbers are getting damning, but let's calm down. Let's pump the brakes. It's the 5th of May.
I'm going to say this. I think the Tigers will play better. They'll play closer to 500 ball, but that's not going to – I think by the end of May, we'll really – like, what is it? Sparky Anderson used to say 40 games, right? That's your benchmark.
Yeah.
And so if the Tigers are around 500, around 40 games, then they'll be competitive. Well, again, when they make the playoffs, you still have Toronto, who's stacked. You have Tampa, that's really good. They have to overcome the East, let alone their own division, to get there. And I don't think they have enough to get to the wild card right now with the roster the way it is at present moment.
All right. Well, hey, man, that's why we go to you, Rogelio. And again, follow him on Twitter. He's killing it for the Tigers. You're not getting this kind of coverage, even from beat writers for the newspapers, let alone any other media sources here in Detroit. It's elite. It's elite coverage. And if you are a so-called baseball fan, it's a must-follow at Rogcast Baseball, ROGcast Baseball on Twitter. What else? What's the latest thing you got up there on WoodwardSports.com?
So if you go yesterday, I did a recap of the heart of the lineup and the struggles of the bats. And tonight I'm going to be previewing what the Tigers should need to do to win the series against Houston. Skubal goes tonight. I also have an article about Skubal's what differences he's making to his pitch repertoire, as he's not throwing so much fastball, but he's throwing a changeup. That's got some really nice development on there. So go to WoodwardSports.com, go to the news section, and all my articles are there.
All right, appreciate you. We're going to be tapping in as the season goes on.
Sure.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. Man, Houston for 4. Good Christ, man. Oh, well, hey, summer's coming no matter what, whether or not the Tigers are good. And that means the summer of Cintron is here. And now Cintron available at your local Kroger store. Next time you're out pushing the grocery cart around out there, slide some of that Cintron in there. You want to give it a spin? They're doing it. 2 for $4. They got a deal going on at Kroger right now. Give it a try. You'll be back for more. Cintron's new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Official partners with the Pistons, the Red Wings, Detroit City FC. Back when, the Red Wings were playing, back before the playoffs started, you saw a little Cintron ad behind the nets there at LCA. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux
Dylan McCarty, who's had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey everybody, Neal Ruhl here for Wing Snob. I was told it takes a snob to know a snob. So here I am to tell you about the fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken Wing Snob. The best traditional wings, the great signature sauces, lemon pepper, Jamaican jerk, whatever sauce you choose. The wings are tossed to perfection. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Getting towards the end of lunchtime, so jump on that computer, wingsnob.com. Wing Snob. We just have better wings. Final segment of the show.
Hey.
Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl. Big thanks to Stick for filling in for D-Mac, whose voice was giving him some problems, I guess you could say. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter. Big props to my guy, Rogelio Castillo, for joining us earlier in the show to talk Detroit Tigers. I'm sorry, man. The battleship sunk. And I'm not. I'm basing it on math. I don't want it to be.
Yeah. I just think that's a little premature. Little premature.
Okay.
And time will tell.
This is
right?
America, Jack.
This is America.
This is what makes America good.
Yeah, you could start here and you could work your way up. That's America. There is no class
Pull
system.
yourself up by the bootstraps. Yeah. Isn't that the line?
Even though we're the lower class right now with the Tigers, they can get to that high society. I believe it.
Mark French. Neal's totally right on this one. Tiger season is over already. Nothing left but moral victories and hopefully improvements. Rack says, no pop from Stick on the Wing Snob read. Well, to be fair, I knew without D-Mac here, I had the quote-unquote afternoon off as far as that goes. And I told hey.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
Usually, like, the snobbery is so much that D-Mac can't take it. He usually break down laughing.
Okay.
So, usually, and I feel pressure to get that done, and it's been tougher and tougher. And to be honest with you guys, as I sit here tomorrow...
Wing Snob.
Yeah.
Oh. Is that what he does? It's like,
no,
I smell the lemon pepper.
No, he doesn't.
No hormones.
He laughs. He laughs. But I'm going to have to do something tomorrow. I'm going to have to raise the game up to another level. There's no question about it. Chuck says, Neal, not sunk yet, but we're taking on water right now, and the buckets are not keeping up with the water that's coming in the ship.
That I can agree with. But we're going down with this shit, man. We're on the Titanic, and we will be the band playing until this bitch sinks.
Stick is doing this right now.
Just sitting here playing the violin, just waiting for this thing to sink. But we could patch the hole. Please patch the hole.
Please patch the hole. NHL playoffs last night. Connor McJesus stepped up, and the Edmonton Oilers got the win. They're back, baby. They are back. Now Ken Holland's got it all figured out, and the Oilers are back popping. They're 1-1 with the Kings. Toronto, as we talked about in the open a little bit, they took that slug from Tampa Bay, and the Tampa Bay Lightning showed up like champions. And when Toronto loses, the rest of the hockey world wins. Stick, let's go.
Yeah, I hate Toronto. Not the city.
Not the city. City's banging.
The city's one of my favorite cities in the entire world, actually.
You know what? Low key, Toronto's a top 5 city, man.
I firmly agree. And like people always talk, hey, I'm going to Chicago this week. I'm like, why would you go to Chicago?
Chicago's cool. Like,
Chicago's
it's
cool. I
Yeah.
lived in Chicago though, and Chicago's a fake New York. Like it's a bunch of soft ass people that thought they used to be like the blue collar, but they're not blue collar anymore. Now they want to be all hoity toity, but they're still soft as hell. But Toronto's the same distance away. I would much rather take my 5-hour car ride to Toronto than to Chicago any day of the week.
I'm with you on that.
They got better everything.
Plus, it's not even 5 hours to Toronto. You get on that 401, man. You either go 100, or you get swallowed up.
But that's kilometers, so it's a little different.
Rack says taking a receipt on that, Neal. Accountability. Write it down. Write it down. AC says Toronto's a cleaner version of New York.
Listen, everything's a cleaner version of New York's filthy. Like
You get off that plane and you get outside, that smell.
You're outside of like Nobu and there's just trash piled up and rats eating it right in front of you. You see people getting out of limos all dressed up and they're stepping literally in trash and piss because it's New York. It's like, oh, sexy.
Yeah, so we got a couple of receipts here. We got Sam Flannel saying that DeAndre Swift would lead the NFC in rushing, and then you got me saying that the season's over on May 5th.
Yeah, we're calling some shots today. I like it.
We'll see who's
opinion radio.
Opinion based.
Or not radio.
Stick,
whatever.
appreciate you, man, stepping in out of the bullpen.
I always love coming in, man. It's fun to talk sports, and that's what I love to do, especially with people like you. And I love having arguments with people, too. I love when people tell me I'm wrong, actually. I love when people, because then I get to further my point even more, and I get to make them feel like idiots. Because then once you bring logic and reason, it shuts down a lot of these opinions.
Klompsaw says the Bruins aren't getting back to rally. That's right. Carolina Hurricanes, man. Hurricanes, Oilers.
All about the Canes. They got sick jerseys too, man.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. They got it together. So for Spencer Raxter, for Stick, and of course for Sam Flannel, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks everybody for tapping in to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.